On a stormy summer night in 1856, as thunder rolled over a mountain village, a boy named Nikola Tesla was born. They say lightning split the sky at the moment of his birth. And the midwife whispered, "A child of the storm." His father was a village priest, but his mother amazed him most. Though unschooled, she built clever little machines by hand. From her he inherited a brilliant, restless mind, and a strange gift, a memory so vivid he could picture anything perfectly. Even as a boy, he was haunted by blinding flashes of light, and by strange visions he could never explain. In time he learned to control the gift, building and testing whole machines in his mind without touching a single tool. But tragedy found him early. When his beloved older brother died, a deep sadness settled over the young Nikola for years, and yet his curiosity only grew, until he dreamed of taming the most powerful force he knew, electricity itself. As he grew, Nikola studied engineering with fierce devotion, bent over his books from dawn until long past midnight. At college, the professors insisted, again and again, that a motor running on alternating current could never be built. But in his heart, Tesla knew they were wrong. The problem haunted him, by day and by night. Then one evening, walking through a park, reciting poetry, the answer struck him at once, like a bolt of lightning. In a single dazzling vision, he saw it. A motor spun by an invisible, rotating field of magnetism. Impossible no more. Trembling with excitement, he knelt and drew the design in the dirt. The wondrous machine, just revealed to him. It was an idea that would one day light the whole world, and yet not a single soul believed it. To chase his dream, Tesla took work in telephones, then joined the European branch of Edison's electric company. In 1884, with little but a few coins and his drawings, the young inventor sailed across the sea for America. He reached the bustling streets of New York and went straight to the workshop of the great inventor, Thomas Edison. Edison hired the brilliant young immigrant, and Tesla labored day and night to improve his direct current machines. Edison promised him a great reward to redesign the generators. A fortune to a poor and hungry immigrant. Tesla solved it brilliantly, but when he came to claim his reward, Edison only laughed and brushed his hopes aside. "You don't understand American humor," Edison told him with a thin smile. Heartbroken, the proud young Tesla resigned that day. For a time, the future genius of electricity had nothing, forced to dig ditches for a few dollars a day. Yet he never abandoned his vision of alternating current, a current that could travel across the land for miles. At last, a few investors believed in him, and Tesla built the alternating current motor he had imagined years before. Then a far-sighted industrialist, George Westinghouse, glimpsed the future hidden in Tesla's invention and came with an offer. Westinghouse bought his patents and joined him, determined to carry alternating current power into every corner of the nation. But Edison would not surrender. He had built an empire upon direct current, and now he prepared to fight back. And so began the bitter struggle remembered as the War of the Currents, Edison's DC against Tesla's AC. Edison launched a frightening campaign, printing dark warnings, telling the public again and again that Tesla's current was deadly. He staged grim, unsettling demonstrations to fill people with fear, to scare the country away from Tesla's invention. It was a cruel campaign of fear, but in the end, the shining truth of Tesla's science could not be hidden. The long contest would be settled by one dazzling prize, the honor of lighting the great World's Fair of 1893. Against all odds, Westinghouse and Tesla won the contract, and the entire magnificent fair would glow upon alternating current. On opening night, Tesla threw a single switch, and in one breathtaking instant, 100,000 lamps blazed to life. The vast crowd gasped in wonder. Tesla's electricity had taken the darkness of night and turned it into golden day. And then, to prove it safe, Tesla let harmless current flow across his body, glowing softly like a wizard. The victory was complete. The world had glimpsed the future, and from then on, it belonged to alternating current. Now came the mightiest challenge of all, to harness the thundering, endless power of the great waterfalls. At Niagara, Tesla's giant generators seized the raging force of the river and sent electricity surging toward cities miles away. It was the dawn of a brand new age, the age of electricity, born from one man's stubborn dream. But Tesla's mind raced far beyond wires. For now, he dreamed of sending energy itself through the open air. He invented the device that bears his name, the Tesla coil, hurling man-made lightning across his laboratory. He believed the whole Earth could become a conductor, carrying free, limitless energy to every corner of the globe. To test his boldest ideas, Tesla built a strange laboratory, high among the storm clouds of Colorado Springs. There, deep in the mountains, he conjured lightning bolts so enormous they leapt 100 feet into the sky. The thunder could be heard for miles, and the ground beneath his feet seemed to tremble with wild electricity. He held up lamps that glowed brightly, with no wires at all, like stars in his open hand. Tesla grew certain he could one day send power and messages across the whole world, without a single cable. To make this dream real, he planned a colossal tower to broadcast energy and signals across whole oceans. And to build it, he won the backing of the richest banker in America, the ruthless J.P. Morgan. With the banker's money, Tesla began to raise his great dream, the towering Wardenclyffe Tower, on Long Island. But the tower was enormous and costly, and the money drained away faster than it could ever be finished. And when Morgan suspected the tower might give its energy away for free, he refused to part with another cent. "But where can I place the meter to charge for it?" he demanded. And then he withdrew his support. Starved of money, the great tower stood half-finished and silent, as Tesla's grandest dream began to crumble away. And in time, the abandoned tower was pulled down, sold off for scrap, the metal hauled away for debts. The years that followed were hard. The once celebrated genius slipped quietly into poverty and into deep obscurity. He lived out his days in modest hotel rooms, his mind still bright with inventions he would never build. People called him strange, eccentric, for he kept lonely habits and spoke of machines decades ahead of his time. In his loneliness, the old inventor found comfort among the pigeons of the city, feeding the gentle birds each day. And there was one white pigeon he loved above all the others. He cared for her tenderly, and she for him. "As long as I had her," the old man wrote, "there was a purpose to my life, a reason to go on." So when the little white pigeon died, gently, in his hands, Tesla felt something precious inside him quietly break. Even then, frail and alone, he never stopped dreaming of energy, of robots, of machines yet to come. Then, in the cold January of 1943, alone, at peace, in a quiet room, Nikola Tesla passed away. He died poor and largely forgotten, his pockets empty. Yet the treasures of his mind were beyond price. But all around him, unseen, the modern world he had built still hummed with the electricity he had given it. Even today, every home that lights up at the flick of a switch owes a debt to Nikola Tesla, and the unit that measures the strength of magnetism now bears his name, the Tesla, written forever into science. Slowly, year by year, the world remembered him, until Tesla took his place among the greatest minds in history. A true child of the storm, who dreamed in lightning, and who, in dreaming, lit the path into our modern age.